Hello listeners and welcome back to another ProGuides video. TFT may look like a complete mess if you've never played any auto battlers before. You see a bunch of characters running at each other on a small board and health points go down, and that's pretty much it. We're here to simplify things for you so you don't just waste all your money in the game and roll the dice hoping for the best. We're going to start off with the basics and we'll get you from iron to diamond in no problem. And once you get a good understanding of the game, be sure to check out our link below at ProGuides.com where we go into further depth on all the best build strategies and winning mechanics. Alright, so let's give a little background on TFT. Why did Riot make such a game mode so different from their regular League of Legends gameplay? Well, TFT actually originated from a different game called Auto Chess, which was a custom game of Dota. Big streamers such as Hafu, Amaz, and Rekful were known for streaming the game. It just kept getting more popular, but as we mentioned, it was just a custom game. Thus, different companies have decided to launch their own. Valve, the company who owns Dota, has created Dota Underlords. The team who made the custom mod, Drodo, made their own official version of Auto Chess as well. Then, suddenly, Riot announced that they will be making Teamfight Tactics. Reviews was definitely mixed at first, but the style is completely different from League of Legends. But people ended up falling in love with it. It is now the most popular version to be played out of the games mentioned. There's a lot of success with Dota Underlords and Auto Chess in the mobile app, but we'll wait and see if League decides to come out with their own. Alright, let's get into how to win this game. The easiest way to view the game is to think of it as tower defense. You buy characters to defend yourself from taking damage while trying to inflict damage on the opponent. For the majority of the rounds, you'll either get transported to the other enemy's location or an enemy will enter yours. The characters that you bought and positioned on the board will then proceed to fight with the enemies. Whoever wins will be able to inflict damage, or if you tie, both teams will deal damage. Your goal is to survive to become the top 4 within the game out of 8 players. Every game of Teamfight Tactics will begin with the Carousel round. This is where you get your starting unit to play the game. You gotta look fast to see what you want because everyone will be released at the same time and charging for what they want. Normally, the first priority is simply to go for a 2-cost unit. The extra gold is pretty important in the beginning. You can identify a 2-cost unit as it's highlighted with a green circle. The second priority is to look for the best starting items, which is normally recurve bow and the rod, as they can be built into the strongest items in the game. We'll elaborate on this more later. The carousel will run on the 4th of every set of rounds after that, so that would be stages 2 through 4, 3 through 4, etc. That is every 6 rounds. However, unlike the first round, not all players will be able to choose their unit at the same time. Instead, people will be able to choose what they want in pairs. It will start by releasing the first 2 lowest health players, allowing them to get first pick on their champions and items. This will continue to the next lowest 2 health, and so forth, until everyone gets their champions and items. However, if you do not pick after time is up for all players, the game will randomly pick one for you. Priorities will mainly become items when choosing which unit you want to pick up from now on, since you most likely have gotten different types of items from your neutral rounds, which we'll explain soon. You want to look for what can be combined with what you already have to make the strongest items. A neat hidden mechanic with the carousel round is that if you enter the carousel round with your bench and board full, it will take the unit you chose from the carousel and add it to your board, leaving you with +1 unit than you're supposed to. You're not allowed to buy, sell, or reposition during this time though, but it can help you win the round. Alright, so let's get on to the neutral rounds. The neutral rounds we spoke about will first occur consecutively for 3 times after your first carousel. From there on, it will also occur every 6 rounds like the carousel, but on the 6th stage of each set of rounds, so stages 2 through 6, 3 through 6, and so forth. Each neutral round will grant you either items or gold. The first 3 rounds will consist of the easiest minions. You're guaranteed to beat these rounds as long as you have the same number of level 1 units as the round. For example, for round 1, you can beat it if you have 1 minion. For round 2, it's 2 minions, and then so forth. Positions don't matter for these. However, the level of difficulty does increase for every neutral round. We'll explain what you'll face and what's important when you're going against them. Between 2 and 6 is the Crumbz. There are 3 Crumbz, 2 on the left and 1 on the right. You would want to position your units to the right in front of the solo Crumbz, except when you're using assassins, which you want to put them farthest back from the solo Crumbz so it will attack it. This is because after one Crumbz dies, the remaining Crumbz goes back to full health, so you don't want to spread out your damage. Next is 3 through 6, which is wolves. These are similar to assassins, and when the round starts, they will attempt to jump to your back line. You would most likely want to put your tankier units toward the back. The next round is not that scary, which is stages 4 through 6, which is the raptors. Positions for Raptors is not too important as they all spread out. It's important to just have leveled up units for this fight. Alright, now here is when players might actually start losing the neutral rounds. Stages 5 through 6 is Dragon, which will do AoE damage attacking multiple targets of yours. Unlike the other neutral rounds, they will give you a full completed item instead of part of one or gold. Sounds great, right? However, the buff of the item is given to the dragon, which can make him incredibly scary. For example, if the dragon is holding a Hexblade, you will receive the Hexblade if you can beat it, but the dragon will gain the attribute of Lifesteal when attacking during the neutral round. They are also immune to damage from your unit's active skills, so that combination is scary to beat. For best positioning, it is recommended to spread out your units to avoid the dragon's attacks. Lastly, we have the Herald or the Elder Dragon. Most of the time, many games end before reaching this stage. Players have normally encountered the Herald much more likely than the Elder Dragon. Let's begin with the Herald. The stage begins with the unit charging someone. Unlike the dragon, the minions only attack a single unit at a time, but will still grant you a full item as well. Simply have your tanks be put in front and closest to him so it will take the charge hit. However, remember that the Herald does hit very hard and quickly, so if your units are not leveled well, it will kill off your team pretty fast. For the Elder Dragon, the attack range and style is essentially the same as the first dragon, but much stronger. It also has AoE attacks and immunity to active skills, but now they're twice as strong and tanky. If you had trouble fighting the first dragon, well, good luck with this one. Also, spread out your units and hope for the best. In between all the neutral and carousel rounds is when you versus the other players. If you continuously win or lose, you'll end up being on a streak, gaining you additional money. 2 wins or losses equals 1 gold, 4 wins or losses equals 2 gold, and 7 wins or losses equals 3 gold. However, if you are losing, it is not recommended to try and continue the streak for the gold, as the damage taken from losing adds up quickly and you can end up with an early loss instead. Always try to win, as the second you win a round, you get another additional gold. You can also gain additional gold through interest. If you save up 10 gold, then you get an interest of 1 gold that round. If you're at 20 gold, then you get 2 gold. This continues and maxes out at 50, where you can gain an additional of 5 gold. It normally is not recommended to aim for 50 gold though, as it could cause you to fall behind since saving up, which means that you're not buying units or leveling up yourself. Be sure to gauge your health and income accordingly. During the player rounds, you can also get into a ghost round. If by chance there is an odd number of players, for example, one person loses, leaving only 7 players, then the game will randomly choose a player to face a ghost round. This means you will still be facing another player, but with a replica of them where the characters do not use their abilities. Ghost rounds are normally an easy win, and most players hope to get this. So that was all about the rounds. Now let's get into some more specifics. Let's talk about the units themselves. There's a lot of different types of units, each with their own special ability. Units are divided between tiers: common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. The tier determines their cost, with commons being 1 gold, uncommon 2, rare 3, epic 4, and legendary 5. Every round, a set of 5 units are available on the bottom of the screen for purchase. Depending on the level you are is where you can see different tiers of units. The higher levels you are, the more likely you are to find better units that cost more. Additionally, levels is what grants you the ability for more units on the board as well. So for example, when you're level 2, you can only see common units in the shop and only allowed 2 units on the board. Here's a breakdown of what types of units are available at each level. At level 2, only common units. At level 3, 65% for commons, 30% for uncommon, and 5% for rare. At level 4, 50% for commons, 35% for uncommon, and 15% for rare. At level 5, 37% for commons, 35% for uncommon, 25% for rare, and 3% for epic, and we'll take a look at all of the rest of them on screen here. You can increase your level by buying XP. Every time you purchase experience, you are buying 4 experience points and it will cost 4 gold. This makes math a lot easier. If you see that you need 32 XP, you simply need 32 gold to level up. Leveling is very important to see better units and to get more board space. If you do forget to put a champion on the board when you level, no worries. The game will automatically put a random unit from your bench onto the field. Another thing that you need to know is that every 3 of the same champion will increase to become a stronger unit with a max level of 3. Let's say you're using the champion Warwick. 3 level 1 Warwicks will combine into a level 2 Warwick. Then, 3 level 2 Warwicks will combine into a level 3 Warwick. So you essentially will need 9 of the same units in order to get it upgraded to level 3. With every level increase, the champion will get additional attack damage, health, and more. It is recommended to go for level 3 on your common, uncommon, and/or rare units as they are more affordable. Avoid trying to get level 3 with epic or legendary. A majority of the times you will simply want all your units to be at least level 2. Here is a list of the available units. There are currently 51 champions with patch 9.15, and we are anticipating 4 additional characters of Camille, Jace, Vi, and Jinx in the next patch. Make sure to check out our character tier list video for more information on each unit and how great they are from early to late. Alright, so moving on, along with choosing units, you also need to choose items. Items play a critical role in helping you win. 2 items will make one more powerful item for your unit. Once you receive multiple items, you can pick one up and hover it around the second item on your bench to see what it makes. There's 8 different types of items, and each can turn into another subsequent 8 different types of items. Here are 10 of some of the most notable items in no particular order. As you may have noticed from this list, recurve bow and needlessly large rod is a common criteria in many of these notable items. This is why we mentioned that most players are going to likely fight for these items during the first carousel round. And last but not least, almost all spatula items are great. However, they were not mentioned in the list because they're only good in a very specific situation. Majority of the spatulas will turn a unit into a different class, which is great if you're missing a unit for a synergy. For example, a spatula and a tear makes a Darken, which will turn a unit into a demon. The unit will retain its original characteristics, but will now also be a demon, allowing you to make more synergies. So, what's so important about synergies? Well, it's actually one of the biggest winning factors of the game. Synergies is when you have 2 or more characters on board that together creates a combined effect. Without synergy, you're not going to survive the late game. You're going to need to learn this basic if you want to get into the top 4 as well. The types of synergies you can achieve are classes and origins. There are 10 classes and 13 origins, all with different effects. Once you have a unit on the board, you can always mouse over the left to read a description of what the synergy does and to see the number of units needed to make that synergy active. Build your synergies according to what pops up in your shop. For example, let's say you are a level 4 and you see 2 Varuses and 1 Aatrox in your shop. This might be a good time to try to build the Demon Synergy. The Demon Synergy allows your demons the chance to burn your enemy's mana through their attacks, causing your opponents to be unable to cast any ability. For this, we would purchase all of those units and attempt to look for more demons to fit this composition. It's also important to look at your enemy's team composition to see if it counters yours. Here's another example. Once you reach mid-game, you see that there are 4 different players trying to make a Yordle's composition. You can check this by clicking on the icons of the players on the right of the screen. Yordles cause all basic attacks to miss, so seeing that, you might want to transition into the Sorcerer synergy where your team will be dealing magic damage instead, so it becomes a perfect counter. Always see what is available for you to buy and keep an eye out on the enemy's compositions to form the best synergies in the game. We are planning to release an in-depth video on every single synergy and a proper tier list for them as well, so be sure to check that out. So that was the basics of the gameplay, but we can't forget about the most important factor of them all. As mentioned earlier, the game is like tower defense. Your tower, in this case, is your cute little legend. Everyone starts off with an adorable spirit, but let's be honest, no one keeps their starting one because it's basic. Since it's still in beta, you can accumulate enough points to get an egg, which will hold one of the other types of legends for you. For example, there's an adorable penguin that most people love, well, because it's cute, but it can also dab. These legends won't affect your gameplay at all, but they're very cute to look at. Similar to the units in the game, you can level them up when you have 3 of the same type, so spend that money in the store and a little bit of RNG to get your favorite legends to 3 stars. I hope this video gave you guys a better understanding of TFT. If you utilize the information learned from this video as well, you should hit Diamond in no time. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content. Comment down below your first experience and thoughts with TFT. That's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck in your next few games, and we'll see you on the Rift.